Hello, Jedi Knights and Sith Lords. This week on the show, we'll be covering chapters 5 and 6 of Maul Shadow Lord, the animated series that we grow into every week. We love watching this series and covering it. So, here we are. Hello, Eric. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. I'm pretty excited of these two episodes and what's to come yet,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
especially in 2 weeks when we're going to be able to be caught up at the same time as everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun and exciting times to come.
So these two episodes, I guess, are the mid-season episodes, I guess.
Yeah, but still,
So
it's still quite eventful. I think like
yeah,
the episodes have been setting up for this, and what a kind of cliffhanger to end up on. In episode 4 with the arrival of the Empire.
yeah,
I think everyone had that, oh my god, kind of type moment there, and so I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing what was going to happen in chapter 5. That's for sure.
absolutely. Before we start, what's up for with you? Something new on your end?
No, no, everything is everything is chugging along. I think maybe not the next episode, but maybe the one after. I'll have a different setting. But other than that,
Okay,
yeah, everything else is quite good. So, and you?
good. Well, I had my second troop of the year last weekend, so it was quite fun. We were like 22
Whoa.
members of the garrison, so it
Hmm.
was quite fun. Then we had a big dinner at a local restaurant next to the event. So, it was quite fun. And this morning we're recording the show on Tuesday, April 21st. Uh, we just crossed the 5K subs on the YouTube channel. So
Wow. And
yeah,
and
it's
the
a pretty cool
viewership on
milestone.
the last two reviews has been quite interesting. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's
definitely.
it's
So
been
thanks,
good.
guys, for tuning in and watching the show.
Ever since
We
I came back, and all of a sudden, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna call you my lucky
yeah,
charm.
exactly. No, but I mean, obviously, all your hard work and dedication and nonstop to the channel is paying off. So it's great to see. So.
Yeah, it all clicked like when I released the room tour video.
Mhm.
Something kind of happened there, and the subs came up like it never did before. So
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
I'm not complaining at all.
All right, so let's dive into chapter 5 called Inquisition. I mean,
Hmm.
overall, I mean, we got to see what we were expecting is the arrival of the Empire on Janix, and for me, it gave me a little bit of like that Andor other content where we see like when the Empire does arrive, how they
Yeah.
kind of just take over and like
Hmm.
Anyway, that's from my opinion that it just shows exactly the rule and how the reaction of the people around him, like oh my god, like here we go, like this is going to change us for forever now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're so drilled, like it's business as usual for the TKs, and
Yeah,
especially Lieutenant Blake,
yeah, that we get
who's the
introduced to. Yeah, in this it's funny because we were talking last week about your dad and how he looked like a
Mhm.
one of those when Blake gets off the ship, it
Yeah,
gave me the same vibe. It's like, oh, this guy, he's got one of those faces where like you
creepy
don't want to
face.
mess with
Oh
him.
yeah, you want to punch him. That's why I put my IUC T-shirt on, which is the detachment of all Imperial officers. So
Nice.
little wink to Lieutenant Blake, even though we're gonna hate him. I'm sure for the rest of the show.
But there's an interesting point because it's something when I watch when I'm watching any of the animated series, and the evolution of the stormtrooper helmet is one thing I'm
Mhm.
always trying to time. Sometimes if I don't know exactly what's going on or where the time is, I'm like trying to identify what are the troopers wearing at that time. Whether it be rebels, and in this case, can you tell us a bit like about where they are and why they look
Yeah,
that way?
absolutely. Because I don't know if you remember when we shot. I think it's our spoiler-free review. You asked me, when the time frame and everything, and I,
Yeah.
I mentioned season 2 of the Bad Batch.
Hmm.
And one other clue that proves this theory is the Stormtrooper helmets that we saw in season 2 of the Bad Batch when they go and rescue Gregor the clone commando that surprisingly had survived the explosions during the droid arc.
Yeah.
Uh, we see V1 of the TK helmet. So those are inspired by Walt McQuarrie's concepts for the original Stormtrooper design,
Yeah.
but they wanted to kind of honor his work. They did it in many ways and many opportunities, but specifically for the Stormtrooper. So yeah, they don't have their regular TK helmet yet, so it's in the early years of the Empire, right after they phase down the clones, and before they get their final design for their uniform. So
If you want to find out more about the original final Stormtrooper helmet, we have a good interview somewhere on your channel, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Um, so okay, from there on, we I my thing that I observe. I mean, we see the Jedi with Daki and Devin, and Daki's concern is no longer Maul. He's it's their survival is what he tells
Hmm.
Devin, and then on Maul's side, he's in no hurry to leave because he still has hopes that he can have Devin be his apprentice.
Yeah,
I mean, Rook is
two
like,
Rooks a surprise,
yeah,
right?
exactly. But you can see there's uneasiness in his crew. You got Vero saying, which was a funny line, but he's like saying, "Well, I've done my part. I mean, what do I get out of this?" And he goes, "Well,
You're still living.
yeah, exactly." He's like, yeah, you make a good point." But Rook's crew also. I mean, I think you observed it as well. There's some kind of questioning and what's going on there. So
Yeah, those Mandos are like more mercenaries than anything now.
yeah,
The Death Watch doesn't exist anymore, so they might be remnant of that faction, but yeah. So all they think about is money and themselves and
and then
being a little selfish.
so and then we have Blake that's interrogating, the people at their office and what Lawson's office,
Yeah,
including
Kleist first,
Weiss.
right?
Yeah, and then I remember when I think it was Lawson asked her where she is, she's been permanently transferred, and usually permanent in the Star Wars terms or in a lot of terms in a lot of contexts means does it does
Is
not
she in Arcana 5?
yeah it's not a good fate usually. So and then when it was Lawson's turn with that was the big oh my god moment of that episode. Like it's like you said, the hands that kind of like drape on the shoulders of
Hmm.
Lawson and kind of giving you vibes of like the what was it, the prequels with um what was it, Palpatine putting his hands, was it on
Oh,
Anakin and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Hmm.
So like it kind of gave me that kind of a little bit of a moment, but
But
then to discover that it
from
was
where does he come from? Because we don't see the door open, so
yeah
he must have been in the room all along,
yeah
like hidden in the corner,
you
and
just
then
imagine
just
this guy, I hope he doesn't see me on his way
yeah,
in, yeah.
not breathing,
Yeah.
standing still, and then he comes out and puts his hand on. But that was a creepy moment
But
for
that
sure.
was a good, like, for me. I mean, I know it's kind of had been, I think, maybe seen in the trailers or some promo photos and stuff like that. But when but the time that I watched it, when we watched I had no idea he was going to be in it. So it was like
Oh God!
it was really awesome to see that. I
So
mean,
you got the full surprise.
yeah. So it was pretty cool for me to see that moment, and be happy that they were finding a way to bring him back into the I guess the whole world of Star Wars and
Yeah,
whatnot.
because
So
we see his final days in the Ahsoka series, right?
yeah,
But my theory about him, and I'm saying that because we have not seen his fate in the next two episodes that we have seen. My honest theory about that is that at some point he might get killed by Maul or somebody else,
hmm.
and could be revived or brought back to life by the Night Sisters
Hey, listen,
because of the magic.
we got
We all
another
remember the
season coming,
green.
right? So who
Yeah,
knows what the timing of that could be, and if if they will be involved in further episodes or seasons. But
yeah, because we all remember the green smoke that
yeah,
came out of him, and it gave me some magic vibe from the Night Sisters. So
yeah,
when we see Morgan Elsbeth coming out of nowhere and
hmm.
revive him and hiring him as a sword,
Yeah,
like at night. So yeah,
that's a
could
good
be
point.
interesting.
And then we finally see Lawson's wife, or Riley's mom,
Mm-hmm.
when he reports to her that he finds out when he went to try to visit that his dad was being interrogated. He mentioned to his mom, and you could see the look of concern. She works for the Empire, but she knows that this is not good, right? Like it's
Yeah.
so you can see the concern in her face.
But
Uh,
she seems like, well, just comply. It's
yeah,
she's working for the Empire, right? So it's
yeah, she knows the
to
drill.
her. I'm sure she still sees them as the good guys. So
Yeah.
we'll wait
Um,
and see on that part.
and so the episode kind of left us off where we had Marek that was um, investigating the site. Like obviously,
Mm-hmm.
he can kind of like channel into the voices and some of the stuff that was going on there.
Yeah.
What was he picking up on, and with the eventual end of the episode where we see that Riley's been, he let in Devin and Daki into Lawson's
Yeah.
apartment. So, but overall,
Yeah.
what did you think of this episode?
Cool episode. Great transition episode, I guess,
Yeah.
because we're moving from a free Genix to a Empire controlled Genix.
Mhm.
We see, their schemes, how they take over. So that's interesting to me to see.
Yeah.
And of course, we like to see Marek, or the first Inquisitor, creep in. Was quite fun. Really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
No action really to kind of like, I guess, to entertain us in this one, but I mean,
Yeah, well, there's going to be action packed for the next episode,
that's
episode
it.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it all leads to
but
episode 6. Yeah.
before we transition, I got a few Easter eggs for you guys.
Yeah.
Mostly Orabesh on signs everywhere in the city. We have a wanted on a Maul holo screen, and then fugitive at large right below it. Then some different ads for businesses in the city. One that says best blurger in town, not burger, but
Yeah.
blurger in town. So that was fun. There's like a time watch ad for maybe a watch company, something like that. And another from a traveling agency that says "See the galaxy." So
Hmm.
that was quite fun. And I always like to decrypt those Arabesh stuff.
But I mean, like, other than that, I don't think that there was much to in terms of Easter eggs and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not picking up on anything, which maybe is a bit more normal. But like for you to not pick up on much either,
Yeah,
I guess they're just concentrating on the story, telling the story, and not trying to give too many. Well, I mean, Marek's is a
Easter eggs
surprise
for the
enough.
sake
Yeah,
of putting Easter eggs,
exactly.
So, but one thing I you had caught up to me when I watched it yesterday on my TV. I was wondering, Lieutenant Blake, who is he reminding me? And you kind of click at some point. It reminded me of the Bad Batch episode where Crosshair is in the like an ice planet. I don't remember the name of the planet, and he goes on a mission. He gets uh, caught in an avalanche with another clone, and he barely brings him back. And then that lieutenant on that planet, he shoots
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
Took him out.
clone,
Yeah.
or he says, "Well, leave him; it's not important."
Hmm.
And then Crosshair shoots the lieutenant, and then
Yeah.
I think he understands the evilness of the Empire. So there's like some similarities between those two officers, I thought.
So, chapter 6, Night of the Haunted. Um, so, I mean, I think it was in the last episode we saw briefly that Maul's leg was being repaired by one of his brothers, and then I guess in this one it starts off we see him kind of like training or doing whatnot. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
loosening his knee.
meditation,
Yeah,
eyes
so
closed, and
then he's reported. He's reported too that Marek is among them. So you can see the look in his face. It's a little
yeah,
bit, things are a little bit more serious than just being the Empire being there. And then we go back to where Lawson's apartment is,
hmm
and Marek eventually finds him, and then that's what got me questioning. How is it that he found him so quick? I mean, did he pick up on something when he's doing the
Maybe there was a
investigation.
tracer on him, or I
Yeah.
don't know.
So because I mean they did let Lawson just go very easily right after the
Hmm.
interrogation. So it was just like, oh, okay, you can go home. So was it, was he used as bait in terms of, you know,
Probably.
yeah, just follow him and we'll see where he goes and let's see
Hmm.
what's going on there. But like they didn't knock, right? They were going right in. So
Ah,
it's
he was cutting right through the door without,
yeah. So
no investigation.
I mean, I could probably feel the presence or
Yeah,
something, right? So, but like, it's just, I don't know. I thought that was so. I wasn't sure if maybe he picked up on something or if there was a video or something that he picked up on. But obviously, he knew that they were there. And I mean, in my opinion, that's what's Lawson was just used as bait to try to find them. Which, funny enough, I'm going to go back to a little bit later when we talk about exactly what Merrick's goal in all this is, right? So,
just before that, I thought the scene where Riley takes Devin back to his room, and he starts cleaning his room, picking stuff, just
yeah,
like a guy would do when he takes a girl back to his room and all of
yeah,
this. Yeah, teenager, it was just funny.
yeah. But overall, this whole episode is, before we really go any further, it was basically a chase scene, a big chase.
Yeah,
So I mean,
when they start climbing on the roof, it's
yeah,
that's where it really picks up, and
and yeah,
the LAT starship, that comes up, and the way they use the camera as well. We see the camera tilt, so we can see the stormtroopers shooting at the Jedi and
mhm.
Brander Lawson. So yeah, I really enjoyed that sequence.
And it's soon enough we end up seeing Two Boots that's still at the station being optimistic. I think this is a good thing, and all this stuff. He's being super optimistic. Next
And
thing you
then
know,
Lawson shows up
yeah.
on the screens, wanted.
And then you got Blaze like, by the way, those boots, take them off. They're not standard issue.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, he's got his like, well, okay then. I think I'm starting to see that this is not all everything's not so great after all. So
Mhm.
then I think after this we ended up going to see Lawson. He's going to see Rena, who was talking to somebody. They cut to her with a kind of like of a suspicious face. It's only going to be a matter of time
Oh yeah, that's his dish, right?
before before she gives him up. There was a cool little moment though at one point when Spybot's outside and he sees the probe droid kind of floating around. He calls him a trashy droid. I
Oh
thought that
yeah, that
was,
was fun.
yeah. And but I mean he ends up reporting to Maul that their position is getting closer, which he still refuses to go
Hmm.
away again to Rook's surprise. Um, and after that, I think is shortly after we got Riley and Devin that split up from the group, and that's when we get our little the action that we kind of like been building up to.
Yeah.
And you can see at this point, like I mean, they run off on a train and Merrick follows them, and then you can see she's just no match
Oh no.
for the Inquisitor at all. Like she's trying to. She's basically just defending herself, just trying not to get killed. She's not really. She's
Yeah,
fighting back, but like I mean, she's basically surviving.
protecting Riley, defending herself,
Yeah.
and
And then it's funny because to go back to what I was saying earlier, like Merrick, he says, "Where's Maul?" He says that to Devin. So it's like even through this whole chase, he's going after her, but to find Maul.
yeah, the big prize is not Devon; it's Maul.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, like why he's so fixated on Maul. Like his job is to get rid of the Jedi, right? Like so,
Yeah, but perhaps he got orders from somebody up there, like
yeah,
a Sidious guy that had Maul as his apprentice before. And
yeah. Well, I'm sure
oh,
when they
by
got
the
wind
way,
that he
if you
was,
see that guy with the horns, get rid of him for me, please.
yeah. Um, but then right when he asked that, he goes, "Where's Maul?" And that's when transition to Maul saying, "And like I'm right here." Which
Yeah,
obviously the fight again,
epic
anything,
fight.
yeah, and almost any of the animated series, the fighting is just always on point. It's just so good. There was
I
that
mean,
moment where the spin saber versus the double saber, like that cold,
yeah.
the deployment of those just looks so cool.
And how many times did we get to see red blades again? Red blades. I mean,
Yeah,
that's fun too.
yeah. So it all sticks with the color scheme though, right? This whole kind of even
Yeah.
like the layout that I did for this, the red and the black and everything like that. So, but then like I think the battle eventually ends, and Maul cuts off the train, and Mara can't follow anymore. Obviously, for giving them a little bit of space and freedom from him, and then you got Devin that points the saber at Maul, like, he just looks at her and shuts his off, like, get out of here. Like, are you serious with this stuff, right? Like, are you?
Are you really
Yeah,
gonna strike me down?
yeah,
No,
because
I don't think so.
she had ample opportunity to move away from them or whatever, and she didn't. She came back and actually fought with Maul.
Yeah.
So like it makes you wonder, like, why she did that only to turn the saber on him. Like, is she,
Is it a enemy of my enemy as my friend? I don't
yeah.
know, type of situation, so
That's when Maul delivered that line, though. It says, "Now you have seen the face of your true enemy." Like, further manipulation and trying to show her, to get him on
yeah.
his side and sympathize with him, because that's basically what she ended up doing. Like, she saw him fighting it, because, like, I'm gonna go help him out, because
Hmm.
he never really tried to kill her, right? So it's like I don't know. You can see she's torn in this, not sure where this is gonna lead. So,
Yeah.
and then I think we ultimately end with Merrick reporting to
Yeah.
his
Going back
lord.
on the Star Destroyer, yeah.
Yeah, but
So
yeah, what do
I
you
don't
think?
know for you, but there's only three possibilities of who that person on the hologram can be, because there's only three-person higher ranked than him. So it could report to the Grand Inquisitor,
Hmm.
Darth Vader, who is in charge of the Inquisitors, and of course Emperor Palpatine. So uh, who is it? We don't know yet, and
Hmm.
hopefully by the end of the season one, we'll get to know. But
I
yeah,
mean, could they possibly be building up towards an epic final episode of Vader versus Maul? I mean,
Maul.
we know Maul is not going to die, right? Like, we know
No.
that's not happening
Mhm.
until further down the road. And I mean, we know there's a season two, and he doesn't meet his
And,
fate against one of these guys, right? So
and if you remember, in the Rebels animated series, when they're at the Sith Temple,
mhm.
they fight the Inquisitors, they get rid of them, and then Maul tries to kill Kanan. Ahsoka just barely saves him, and then he escapes when he sees Vader's ship arriving through the roof of the temple.
Yeah,
So why does he escape just before Vader arrives? I
maybe he's
think
no
it could be
match.
because
Yeah.
he remembers a previous encounter with
I,
him before.
I I
Who
think I
knows?
think if we get to see Vader versus Maul, it would be absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I don't think that season two was announced or approved. I think it was probably in the plans, but not before the end of season one. So I'm guessing that they're not going to leave it on a cliffhanger, but we could end up with
Hmm.
that battle, which is going to just make everyone, like, lose their minds, right? So
Yeah.
so let's hope that that's where it leads. But yeah, I think that I feel like that's a bit too much. I feel like
Fandom will go nuts.
yeah, for sure.
On May the 4th, grand finale, Maul
Maul
versus
versus
Vader.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. And so overall, this episode, what did you think of this one?
That was a fun ride for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, as usual, I always approach them as one 45, 50 minutes episode.
Hmm.
But yeah, that part was it was a thrilling ride, and all the chase from the moment they leave Lawson's house, and we see it burn. So there's when you see a house burn, it means there's no coming back.
Well, I mean, I
We've
think
seen that in the
Lawson.
movies before,
Yeah. I mean, there's no coming
and
back for Lawson anyway at this point, right? He's firing back at
mhm,
the Empire. They're running out. Well, I mean, he was on
yeah,
the wanted posters. I think it was clear that he was bait, because I
no
mean, like I
time to
said,
pack.
they
We
they
see
go
the
they go from letting him go
mhm,
to all of a sudden now he's on the wanted posters. So
enemy of the empire. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, clearly, like I said, use his bait for this whole situation, and it works out. Well, I mean, not
As
yet,
much
but
as I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out for Devin and Maul and Master Daki, I'm also curious to see how things will end with Brinder and his son.
yeah, I mean, I would assume that we're gonna lose one or two of the characters
I
before then.
guess Yeah.
Like I said earlier, talking about Merrick. I mean, are we going to see the end of him?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, we know that like there's more to come in the next two episodes.
Yeah.
A couple more surprises. But
Even more action.
yeah, yeah, definitely, and but we don't know how it's going to end. You know, so we genuinely don't know if it's going to be a Vader versus Maul or anything like that. I mean, I obviously wouldn't have put, if that's the case, wouldn't have put that in any of the promos, posters, or trailers. You know, to leave it
Yeah.
for your big moment at the end. So, um, you know,
But so
very,
far, it's the perfect crescendo for me. I guess it starts all quiet. There's that highs at the episode 1 and 2. We're wondering the cops are wondering what's going on. Then there's that mafia part, and then boom, the Empire arrives, and then boom, Inquisitors, and
but you had made the point too, right? In one of the previous reviews, where you know this is not a 20 some episode animated series, right?
yeah,
So they've limited to, and I hope that that's not what they do with the next season. All of a sudden, like blow it out. You know, like just going to be like 20. But as much as fun as that would be, I think that
yeah,
this is the perfect formula to almost stick with like the real life kind of series and just limit episodes to like 8 or so.
or maybe give
Uh,
us two more. We're
uh,
gonna have 10, so maybe 12.
but you know,
So
I don't want two
and we
episodes
see
just to
six,
give me filler either, right? Like
and we see six during the fall and six during winter. That
yeah,
could be fun.
yeah. But I mean, if we're gonna get like a whole episode of Devin like going on a side mission, like just like kind of like I'm not interested in that. Like the way it's done right now is
I
perfect.
don't know.
Everything,
It's
every
perfect. Yeah,
episode is purpose. So
no side quests.
yeah, exactly. Side quests or fillers. So
Hmm.
but overall, I mean, for me, that this maintains a 9 rating. Like it's just like a overall, I can't see this series dipping. I know where it's headed for the next two episodes, and again, at least the last two, which we're all going to get to see. But like, there's no turning back on me now. Like, there's no way I'm going to go. Oh, you know what? Finally, this whole series was a 7 for
It
me.
all sucks, right? No,
Yeah.
no, it's
So
impossible to.
yeah, and it seems to be again unanimous. We've seen it. I've said it.
Yeah,
You know, everyone just seems to be enjoying it. I know I have a few friends that are like waiting for it to be all out at once to watch it, but
just to binge watch it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't, I can't exercise that patience anyway. Even if
I don't know.
yeah, so I mean, despite the fact
Especially
that
after seeing the screeners. I mean,
yeah, but
even
even then, there was no way I was gonna wait and say, oh, I'll just watch it. Like, no, no, no,
yeah,
give
and
me
I
all the
still can't
content.
wait for next Monday to rewatch those two episodes because when the first two episodes were released, our screeners they didn't working anymore, so we can go back and watch those screeners. So
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that too. So,
yeah,
well, okay,
so yeah, it's always fun to rewatch them, and because it's been quite a while, maybe a month since we've first seen
yeah.
the whole first 8 episodes. So I'm starting to forget stuff. So it's always fun to go back to my notes that I took when I was doing my first watch and go back and okay, yeah, that. So yeah, it's always fun.
I
So
quite literally did my rewatch about an hour and 45 minutes ago, so it's
wow.
we're all set. It was fresh in my mind, and but okay, so you know, again, you know, if I think we're just going to stick to this format, we're not going to go live at this point, but like the views are great. I mean, thanks to everyone who's taken the
Hmm.
time to watch it. I don't think we've ever had the views be so high on any of
Such a
the
big audience, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, and you know, share, and you know, get the review out there, and you know, it encourages us to continue making more, and maybe you know, I'm gonna have a lot more time moving forward, so maybe
Hmm.
you can have some more content, not just some shows. Let's see what happens
Maybe
down the road.
some we can bring back the interview format at some point.
Yeah,
Could be fun.
yeah. So a lot of stuff coming up. Again, thanks again, Dom. You can talk us out.
Yes. Well, as Eric said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. In the meantime, if you're still craving for Star Wars stuff, check out the videos on the YouTube channel. But check out also the Facebook page. I'm gonna post everything regarding May the 4th goodies, releases. Just put a post this morning about a clone from the 104th Wolfpack division that will be released. So that's going to be a fun review for me. There's the Lando and the Skiff Guard helmet coming out as well at Galaxy's Edge. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming our way for May the 4th. So if you want all the latest news, check out the Facebook page. And until then, may the force be with you always.